A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But necessarily my truth might not be everyone else's truth. So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
If some of these platforms, because there's many channels here, and a lot of them actually do, if people were honest when they're coming onto panels or chat, if they don't want to be honest with themselves, they want to tear down other people to disguise themselves. So what I get from that is people are insecure by using a false sense of security to mask it. They're not actually, they actually ever challenge themselves. What would that look like? Of course, they'll be looking at, well, what about you? I said, there you go again. You're deflecting at that point. It's about you. If it's always about you, then make it about you. Be the best me can be there. Be the most selfish person you can be. So my question would be, then why are you living with the rest of us?
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Because it doesn't serve them to, I'm going to sit there and hear them and say, okay, so should I tell them that they're caught up in their own world? I'm just going to replace myself. Axis, you can take over for a while. It's your shift.
Okay, I think I'll do that, Dom. Thank you very much. Hello, friends and enemies of YouTube, children of the metaverse. It is I, the Axis. And this evening, I wish to instruct you on how to use frequencies. And not by turning your radio on, nor your TV, nor any of the bombardment of frequencies that you're already under, but one that you can utilize as a tool. Yeah, a tool to bring a sense of, let's say, poetic justice to the metaverse in our little corner of our community. I thought long and hard about this for a very long time. And it's like I always said, I keep information and knowledge on reserve. But this time, I decided that I was going to share. So, let me explain to you exactly what I'm going to share with you for those of you that have cognizance enough to stick around and maybe learn something. Now, the fundamental source of this is no different than when you hear a song on TV, or not TV, but on radio, and it changes your mood because there are frequencies that are stimulating you. And it brings you into a happy state, sad state, contemptuous state, violent state. And they also use it through television and computer and phone technology. It just so happens that I happen to be a sound engineer, which was one of the perks of being in music. And during the course of about a year, I developed a pretty effective frequency range that affected the cerebral state of someone's um, behavior, we'll say. And I decided to keep it hid from everybody because at that time, when I introduced it to people, um, they really kind of sported it off, which was great for me because that allowed me to do trial tests, trial runs, research, and I had more guinea pigs than I could ever want. But now that we've advanced quite a bit further, and people are a little more familiar now with frequency technology, which they should have been back then. But then Nietzsche says all great things must first wear a horrifying and terrible mask. So there you go. And I'm not saying I'm great. I'm saying this technology is fucking awesome. Now, I know a lot of people try and keep a civil state of being in the metaverse, and you have those people who do no harm, wish no harm people. And then you have the dissident, the disruptor, the covert backstabber, the panel manipulator, the panel dominator. You have all sorts of atrocious behavior. And it just so happens, and I even tested it today quite effectively, that I have enhanced and heightened the effects of these frequencies to alter not only the mood of the panel, but also the chat, because they're being subjected to the exact same sound via the live stream into their speakers. And as they're blindly, because they can't see past the screen, being hit with these different frequencies, and you can resolve and other many situations. And I'm here to give you a little instructional um, tutorial in frequency. Now, anybody that's worth their weight in intelligence knows that frequency is one of the fundamentals. And everything resonates at a particular frequency. Everything is constantly moving. Even though it's setting still, it's resonating at a certain frequency. If you do any research on Tesla, you would know this. So I went into one of my sound design programs and I put in a naked tone. And what a naked tone is a tone that, if presented into a audio spectrometer, it really doesn't have much of a fluctuation to it, which means that you can take that particular tone in its pure form and you can adjust the frequencies through a simple program, which I'll explain to you. And then you can do a certain amount of research, which is very easy on YouTube or on Google, that allows you to know the ranges that these frequencies and the areas they affect are. Certain frequencies are very irritating, but if you do them subsonically, and I'm saying subsonically as in like a dog whistle, right? Beyond audible recognition, means you can't fucking hear it. And you start studying the perimeters and which perimeter affects the human brain and in what way. At that point, the only thing you need is a small program from the App Store or any of those apps that offer you apps. No, that's awful. Anyhow. And you can start modulating sound. Now, to get to the point where you can actually get the full effect of using frequency in a panel, that it affects not only the panel but the chat, you will need at least a laptop. I don't suggest doing it through a phone just because of the range that it is not capable of achieving. And if you're really dead set on it, a tower is even better. So once you go in and you do a little research, because I'm not going to spoon feed anybody's ass. Not going to spoon feed anyone. But you do a little research on which range of frequencies affects the human mind. and it will absolutely show you on the chart. And there's many of them. There's even one in my playlist sections on frequencies. It shows you at what frequency range you can cause a person to become disoriented, angry, disruptive, peaceful, calm. They're all there. All you need is the ability to adjust those frequencies, which I'm going to turn you on to. And I'm going to show you how to get on a panel and by force of your own will, whether you choose to use it or not, allow you to alter the mood, the cognizance, and the state of the panel, as well as the chat. Let's see what Nude Guru has to say here. Are the frequency ranges and their effects an exact science? Same for each individual? No, actually, today I ran across one individual that I had hit a chat room, or not chat room, panel, and the chat, naturally, they responded very quickly. And the panelists, well, two of them, was it two? Because the third one did not get affected. But the other two were totally affected. And the chat also followed suit. And I have done controlled testing on this to make sure it wasn't a one-off or that I was talking out of my anal vaporous hole. And I used the same procedure as when I had the older frequencies and used to go on panels and alter the cerebral state of people and their emotional state. And once there was a control of people that were allowed to see this and watched it happen, and I dropped off. But here recently, I have found a need to distribute this information. Once you get a clear tone, you can buy or utilize from the web frequency adjustment, or frequency adjusting oscillators. You can amplify frequency. You can turn the frequency to a minimum of 1, less below, or you can maximize the range of it. But remember, the lower the tone that you use, the more aggravated, irritated, and absolutely just belligerent when they're hit with very, very low tones at a subsonic level, which I'll explain to you here in a minute how to achieve that. And with a higher range, it also can produce the exact same effects as a lower tone, but in a more menacing way. Instead of becoming deeply troubled and disturbed by the sound, you become anxiously disturbed by higher pitches, um, frequencies, and ranges. And I know a lot of people listen to binary beats, and that's just frequencies. Those are frequencies that they pedal off to you that are designed to soothe you, bring your chakras into shape, this, that, or another, and eventually you're growing crystals out of your ass. But with this revolutionizes social media on YouTube and other platforms because you're capable of controlling the cerebral and emotional environment of that chat room and the panel. You have something else. Did Guru again. Interesting. I am presuming then that it's more of a holistic picture frequency, being a very powerful factor in the picture, great educational focus. I'm intrigued about the effects of it and the ranges. Let me tell you something, new Guru. These are just below military weaponized frequencies. They're not a placebo. They are not holistic. The ones that I suggest that people, when I explain myself, use. But some of them, yeah, like the 430 seconds, 528, and harmonizing your body and, aligning your chakras. And yeah, well, you know what? That's not what I'm about now. I look to weaponize YouTube and other social media platforms. I'm not looking to play nice here, if that's what you think. Someone pissed in my Cheerios, and I almost took a bite. And upon that, I immediately realized that the only way that I can truly step into this arena with an impact that's going to be evident, pronounced, documented, and observed is if I give every dissident bastard on social media the means to manipulate the cerebral state of everyone who goes on a panel. You catch my drift now? No, these are actually NORAD tones, direct NORAD frequency tones that are used in aerospace industry. But you can get a flatline tone or frequency off of small programs such as SoundForge, Pro Tools 52. There's a new one that's out that comes with the whole interface. Then you need a program of sound design and engineering. The best one I recommend that you can get from Play Store is SoundForge. Learn SoundForge and then go to your computer and either get a trial copy that it will allow you to save or purchase it. And there is the potential for other ways of obtaining it. However, once you have that flatline tone, you turn it into a wave format. You load that wave into a sound designing program with frequency capability. Now, the frequency capability on these will not allow you to go too far. That was my first trial run, but it's still effective. But if you go into the realm of frequency technology and sound design, that's a whole different ballpark that allows you to use frequencies that are not only disruptive, effective, but it's going to change the nature of these platforms and the way people conduct themselves, and just the malicious bastard out there looking to fuck with you. Real trolling. You know, people like to troll. Well, I was the wrong one to fuck with. So now everybody's going to pay for it. And it won't be me doing it. It will be your fellow YouTubers. And I'm just going to sit back and watch the show. Because this is going to be great. Now, once you get a sound design and sound engineering program, you feed the stable wave into it. Upon your research on the internet, and you find out which frequencies affect which areas of the brain and causes a chemical reaction, an emotional reaction, a cerebral reaction. At that point, you set the perimeters of the program, sound design and engineering program, to oscillate those frequencies. And then you get a subsonic equivalent comparative frequency is what it is, and make it inaudible so that people don't hear it while you're using it. And I will teach you how to protect yourself from being affected by your own fucking frequency. So once you have set this frequency to a degree that seems to be applicable to what the designated frequency is that changes a cerebral state into a various state, happiness, sadness, content, whatever. You set out on the metaverse and give it a little, just give it a little go. Just try it out. And it may take a bit of trial and error for you to actually become accustomed and adjusted to certain people that aren't affected, but the majority, and we're talking an average of 80% are affected, completely affected. And when it's subsonic, like a dog whistle, they don't even know it's there. So when you go back to your machine and you've got this frequency setting, you've got subsonic capabilities, and you've seen ones that work and are effective for your desired need or want or whatever, you record it and record with a ledger the frequency, the variable, and the effect. And then I'll get in here in a minute to dual frequencies being projected at the exact same time, all the way up to penta frequencies being subjected on a human and their mind. And that pushes boundaries just a little bit further than just emotional disruption. Now, for anyone that has any disposition to say, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? I told you in my live stream, I'm not a role model. I'm not your fucking hero. I do both good and evil. And if you piss in my Cheerios, I want to shit down your throat. And I'm going to let other people smear it on you. See, I see the numbers dropping. That's good. That's very good. Keep dropping. Because not only will I release this information here, I will release it on Facebook. I will release it on TikTok. I will release it on any fucking platform I can. Because that's exactly what I've been presented with while trying to offer something of benefit. So there you go. So let's continue on. Once you have a range of these frequencies and the oscillation and the frequency range, and you've recorded it and you have documented the certain effect that each of these frequencies are going to have, that's for posterity's sake. So you're not sitting there at the machine going, what was that frequency? Damn, I can't remember. I need it. You know, no, it's already ready available. And we'll use a small scenario before I get into dual frequencies, penta frequencies, and various ranges of frequency that do a little bit more than just cerebral discognition. You get on a panel, and whenever it starts to become disrupted, or someone starts to become disruptive, use the frequency and call their ass. Or adjust the frequency to cause the whole panel to go into an aggravated, irritated state that they may start attacking each other verbally, of course. I don't advocate for physical harm unless, you take into consideration I've never killed anybody that didn't deserve it. So SoundForge is a very good program to start with sound engineering and understanding how sound engineering works. And then once you're aware of this, you'll be aware that you're being hit by manipulative frequencies all day long. It's just these are proprietarily directed towards panels and chat and other social media platforms. Sound Forge, sound design, and I use another program to hold my frequencies, and that program is called Acid Pro, and it keeps my frequencies at the ready because you can have unlimited amount of tracks, and with each track you can assign and title each of those frequencies, such as love, hate, happiness, whatever. So let's talk for a moment about dual frequencies. And they tried to use dual frequencies in the Stargate program. Um, hemi-syncing is what it's called, where they hit one side of the brain with one frequency, they hit the other side of the brain with another frequency, and generally it produces an out-of-body experience. This is proven. This is CIA documentation. You can look it up. It's not a hidden secret anymore. It's just that there are malevolent frequencies that you can use. And these frequencies in dual form create a static, a decoherency, which brings on a state of confusion, disorientation, kind of like listening to two radio stations at the exact same time. The next and the most fascinating one is when you use pentafrequencies, which is 5 different frequencies, adjusted however you feel that you want to administer them to create detrimental confusion, disorientation, sickness, nausea, quite a few things. I've yet to find the pentafrequency to do anything more than to disrupt, unless you harmonize those frequencies into a mode that is more cohesive to the human mind and body. Now, that is a mountain of information there. I have to take a break for a moment. If you stick around, you do. If not, then you leave like the rest of them have. But I'm not done by a long shot. I just want to enjoy a song, grab some coffee, smoke a cigarette, so that I can give you guys the full details of how to perform this. Not that I haven't, but whether you will do the research or not, probably not. So I have to spoon feed people. I have to hold their noses and take the spoon and pour the medicine down their throat because, well, their cerebral state is not one that would do that type of research. And in the meantime, like it, hate it, good, bad, ugly, up, down, positive, negative, here you go. I like this song. And there we go. Frequency and fuckery for everybody. The peculiar part, which I find for myself most amusing, is the people that come in here and because they don't immediately cohesively understand what's being said and done here, are the first ones to become victims. Not only do they not have a defense against this, which there is, but I'm not going to tell nobody that, nor will I ever reveal it. But those who choose to walk away from the information become the easiest targets and victims to this type of technology. And for anybody that has a disposition that they are invincible or unaffected, or they're wearing the armor of God, well, military waves and action, you should see how that works. 30 millimeter waves, frequencies, you should see how that works. Cellular phone frequencies, well, you already know. I don't have to explain that to you. And the first people that I will make sure that I give this to are going to be the most vile trolls that roam this particular sector of the metaverse. Now, let's take this to a future broadcast that I plan on doing tomorrow, which is applied subliminalism and social media and the effects that it has to the subconscious and not the waking mind, and how it seeds itself there and is brought into cognizance after enough exposure or even minor exposure, depending on how weak fucking minded you are. You're going to need to do these frequencies a set of speakers that can handle high frequency and extremely low frequency. And these are reinforced speakers that generally you can pick up at any music store that deals with studio equipment, because you will wind up blowing your own fucking speakers out. And then you'll be cursing me because I showed you something that you didn't research, and you're going to come cuss me for it. No, fuck you. Get an education if you're going to use it, because I'm sure the trolls will. And upon this, you adjust your frequencies, make sure that they come through the speakers properly, reduce them to a subsonic tone, put them into any type of delivery system, such as, hell, you can embed them in music. You can embed them in just a general uploaded video, and you can also use them the same way in live chat. It's just like sharing a song or playing music in the background that can't be heard. It's that easy. But I'm not responsible for damages. What you proceed to do with this, and I'm not done by a long shot, is on you. I'm just sharing wisdom and knowledge. I think there's an individual I've ran into that says, it's not about me, I'm just sharing information. I think I heard that somewhere before. But anyhow, this is just me sharing information. But I think, because I will leave the links in the probably the community section on this video as to where to acquire frequency programs, acquire frequencies, acquire the programs that you're going to need to utilize them, because I don't imagine anybody's going to waste their fucking energy to go into my playlist, look up frequencies, and educate themselves on it. I just don't see that. But you could surprise me. Now, are there any questions as of yet? Panel's open. Chat is right in front of me. And if there's no questions, then I'm going to presume that you understand fully what I have just given to you. If not, then I will have to break it down into even more simplistic layman terms And there it is. The silent majority. It's part of the reason I can't stand the fact that people violate, disrupt, and troll. And when it comes down to trying to call that dissidence, there's nothing but dead fucking silence. Which shows me that you're not innovative at all. Or somebody else would have been using this technology besides the United States fucking government. You're real smart, aren't you? In sound design and development and creating oscillations, I'm intrigued about your expected outcome. Well, once I make sure that each of the trolls in this neck of the woods, and being what we consider our community, are given full understanding and resource to this technology, they will come and use it against each and every one of you. And then at that point, you may be interested in coming back here and finding that technology out for yourself, because you're not going to know who has it, you're not going to know who's using it, and you're not even going to know that it's being used against you. And maybe I might leave this video up. Or I might just give it to Tommy, Sanity Machine, Snafu Crew. You know the ones. You know, you should have done something about that when you had a chance to. But no, you thought it was funny. You wanted to laugh at it. You wanted to sit and poke at it and go, well, what an asshole. He's fucked up. He's crazy. He's this, that, or another. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Well, you know what? Joke's on you now, bitches. Because they're the first ones that I'm going to give this technology to in detail. And if I have to email them the schematics for it, I will do such without hesitation. Does that answer your question, Guru? That's what I thought. The silent majority again. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that, Nude Guru. Well, cool. I will make sure, if I can get your email address, to take you into a step-by-step procedure of how the functionality, the inner workings, and the more adapt programs that I'm able to acquire, and you too, are there for your disposal. What I mentioned here is updated technology, but once you start buying military surplus and you start looking into building your own SSID transmitters, you start oscillating waveforms to different millimeter links. Wow. The possibilities are just phenomenal. Oh, Dawn. How you doing, Dawn? I gotta give you the old, love to see you. We've been discussing frequency technology. I don't know if you've been listening, but that's what we're endeavoring in at this moment. And I'm instructing the people here how to utilize it on panels and how to utilize it while on panel to affect also the chat, and how they had responsibility as good stewards to get rid of the dissidents, and they chose not to. So now you're dealing with a real fucking devil. And I'm going to make sure, like I said, they have this technology before you do. Victims, aren't you all? So, Snafu's real funny, isn't he? Sanity machine. That's a whole fucking hilarious. What a clown. Well, those are the people that are going to have first option access and control of this technology. Oh, tab, yeah. You know that I run a pretty open and clean platform, and I try and allow everybody to express their opinions and ideals. And as we talked before about the situation, two people, one of them brought a tribe of trolls in, and he's kind of a semi-influential platform operator. And then the other one was a complete dissident to the flow of communication on my panels. And when I went to live stream, I found something really peculiar had happened after I had received the threats that they made. And you can go back and look at yesterday's live stream, and it speaks for itself. That is why I'm doing this. And I hope to God in hell and amongst the pits of flames and the dust that walk through the paths that steer in the winds of the abyss, that every fucking one of these cocksuckers succumb to each other's hatred with this technology, because I see so few who deserve it. And that is the platform to express themselves on. But the majority, let's let them destroy each other. Let's allow them that opportunity of when they get angry and say, I'm going to beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll fuck you up. You know. Well, now they can really hurt each other. Not only that, but I think it's going to affect this little neck of the neighborhood we call these communities, and whatever endeavor it is that we supposedly had set out on and failed miserably to do. Any further questions about the technique, procedure, equipment, or anything concerning this frequency technology and how to use it? Like I said, I'm not going to fucking spoon feed any of you. Well, the silent majority once again wins. I suppose you guys have got this all figured out then. You know everything you need to know about the procedure, technique, and use of such things. And I'm taking it with the lack of response that you know exactly how to defend yourself. So I'm going to continue forward. Yeah, Tab, this is probably not a arena that is a very productive one for the nature that you carry. But this is a necessity to bring to the metaverse, the panelverse, and allow them to consume themselves with their hatred and really fuck each other up. There won't be a coherent panel left in this corner of the metaverse. So you know what I'm talking about then, right, Don? Don, I mean Don, 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 Don. You understand completely what I'm proposing here with this revealing of this type of technology. Yeah, yes, sir. I figured you would. You are a treasure, Don, 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 and Don, and Don. Okay, Tab Rose. That way I don't misconstrue my enunciation. It's so hard to say. Dawn. It's the W. That's what's getting me. Dawn. 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 No. Dawn. No. I'm sorry, but you're going to be Tab Rose, or one of the two. Either one is just as sweet as the other. Tab or Rose. Yes, Nude Guru, there is, but I'm not going to disclose that. That's not my purpose right now. Because if I reveal the procedure and what you need to deflect such things, then people will be able to defend themselves against it. And I don't want that. Not by a hell of a fucking sight. And if you don't want to have to deal with it, and you don't want to experience it or be subjected to it, then stay the fuck off social media. Get the fuck out of YouTube and go hide in a corner somewhere where you feel safe. Like I said, I'm not spoon feeding anybody. I'm doing this as a course of action. You pissed the wrong fucking person off, and just like the teacher that says the whole class is going to be punished because of these couple people, well, that was the school of learning that I come from. because everyone contributed to sustaining, promoting, and allowing these fucking dissidents to destroy something that was very beneficial. And if you think you're not guilty, I beg to differ. I'm sure you know Snafu. I'm sure you know Tommy. You know, oh my God. The Snafu crew, the dissidents that come through your chat and just absolutely disrupt, panelists who come on only to troll and antagonize. I'm going to tell you this, Nude Guru. You will have to do some military surplus shopping. We have a place here called G.I. Joe's that deals in military surplus. That's where I get a lot of my equipment from. You know, Tab, it was really disheartening a couple days ago when the trolls came into my channel, which I didn't mind. I dealt with them the way that I generally do. Like, in one ear out the other, whatever, I don't care. But when they took my viewership, my panelists, one of which threatened me in chat, and if you look it up, it's there. I confronted him today and shut him down just by being completely willing to be sacrificed and crucified. They cut their own throat. And if you watch yesterday's stream, you'll see that little king or regent, Stephanie, found himself at a complete disadvantage in this particular thing that he likes to play. I suppose I should be thankful that I wasn't taken as seriously as maybe I should have been, because it awards me this opportunity. Anyhow, when you're projecting these frequencies onto a panel, sometimes you have to take, people must be bored to do the nonsense they do. Wow. Yeah, tell me about it. But I don't think they recognized what the consequences were going to be, because I didn't tell them. But anyhow, if you use, it's called a subsonic filter inside of your headphones, and I'm talking the big 70s, got my boombox on my shoulder type headphones, yeah. You can put a subsonic frequency filter in those. So when you're plugged in and you're transmitting the frequency, you're not being affected by it because you have a subsonic filter or a frequency filter, or you can find a filter that handles the range of frequencies you're dealing with. And a wise man would know what I just said there, Guru. Let's see how wise you are. Well, I guess something just flows through the breeze. I will be doing a stream probably most likely later tonight. And I might tend to further discuss the full depth of this. But I think I've given you enough information in general for you to understand exactly what's about to transpire. But believe me, Sanity Machine, Tommy, hell, I think even OTW could have fun with this. They're going to be the first ones to get the technology. And I do not put it past their moral caliber to execute that technology against any and every one of you. As a matter of fact, that's my objective. So, of course they're going to shadow ban you because I'm giving away information that could shut down the entire platform of fucking YouTube. Do you know how much they would have to pay once people start using this technology to get shit straightened out? Hell no, they don't want you interacting with me because you're showing interest in what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is a detriment to YouTube maintaining itself as a platform and a social media resource. Do you not understand that? Is that not fucking clear what I am doing? Anyhow, Tab, I'm going to take some relaxing tea. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to kick back, ponder my thoughts for a moment, and potentially go live later on this evening. Not that I expect much interaction outside of the chat, but that's okay. They underestimated the fact that, what? They didn't think I had anything to say? I was just the host, sitting silently, enduring and learning each of their idiosyncrasies and their measurements. You're damn right I was. So, Tab, you're a beautiful person. Nude Guru, thanks for the interaction. Much appreciated. Lord, You know you're always welcome here. I have no problems with you. 5 speed, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, dude. I really don't. But at that, kiss my ass. Axis out.